And her children, who she drops off and picks up every day, say smaller schools would make learning easier.
I could learn better, and most people will not bother me. It would probably be better if it was a little smaller, so we wouldn't have so many kids.
Many of our elementary and middle schools already exceed 1,000 students, but the neighborhood school plan calls for between 250 and 500 kids. Spady Elementary School Principal Mavis Allred says smaller schools would be better for a child's education, but she says the rapid growth of our community makes smaller schools unrealistic. The other problem is keeping the schools integrated.
If they're actually neighborhood schools, because we can look around and our neighborhoods are not all integrated, and if they're put in a lot of locations, you would not have a racial balance.
The bill calls for money saved on bus transportation to be used to build the neighborhood schools. Many parents would rather have their kids walk to a nearby school instead of taking the bus. And they think the overall school experience would be more long-lasting for the youngster. Now a joint select committee will hear this tomorrow in the legislature. Then there will be a vote by the full legislature, Chandra, in the next 2 weeks. Back to you.
Dana Palley, thank you. Florida has the highest number of students per school from kindergarten through 8th grade of any state in the nation. The average school in Florida has 769 students.
Here's an update now on a story you first saw on News 12, a dispute over a beaded necklace that could have cost the Palm Beach County School District tens of thousands of dollars in legal costs. Well, actually, it has been settled now at no cost. The law firm of Holland and Knight will not charge the school district for services in the Peter Riera case. The firm was criticized for billing the district almost $40,000 for less than 3 weeks of work. You may remember this story. The 15-year-old Peter Riera was kicked out of Boca High for wearing a beaded necklace with the Cuban flag on it. Riera's parents filed a lawsuit. Riera won the battle and returned to school wearing the beads last week.
A close call with disaster. 2 jumbo jets that combined can carry over 400 passengers almost collide in midair.
The suspect list gets shorter. John and Patricia Ramsey remain. We'll tell you who was cleared today.
Tonight, the Air Force confirmed an explosion in the Rocky Mountains at the same time a warplane disappeared.
And a local student gets a perfect score on the SATs. That's something. You'll hear from her coming up. Sun finally shining. So is Chief Meteorologist John Matthews, Doppler 12,000 forecast. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 12 at 6 with Chandra Bill, Tim Malloy, Sports with Dan Oliver, and meteorologist John Matthews with your Doppler 12,000 weather forecast.
Let's check on that evening commute. Here's our Street Smart traffic reporter, John McDonald. John?
Thanks, Chandra. Traffic still very heavy and congested in the county at this hour. Northbound 95 at Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, an accident earlier there, rollover into the guardrail, has caused a lot of delays coming out of the downtown area along 95 northbound. Also onlooker delays coming in the southern direction through this area. It is going to be a mess in the downtown area. Elsewhere in the county, we are also working an accident right around 6th Avenue in Lake Worth on the northbound side. That's pushing back delays now, headed northbound towards Lantana Hypoluxo Boulevard. Also southbound looker delays, spotty, dense traffic in through Lantana. Street Smart Traffic, sponsored by Metropolitan Mortgage. I'm John McDonald. Tim, back to you.
And a car fire caused quite a traffic distraction today in Lake Worth. Sky 12's Gyra Zoom and Night Sight caught the scene this morning near 441 and Lantana Road. Palm Beach County Fire Rescue rushing to the area. Got the fire quickly under control. Nobody was injured in the blaze. Quite a scare in the air over L.A. today. Here's the story. 2 jetliners, international flights with hundreds on board, had a near miss about 10 miles east of Los Angeles International Airport. Reports indicate the planes came within 300 feet of each other. That's a blink of an eye. One of the jetliners was inbound on a flight from Osaka, Japan. The other was coming in from Amsterdam. Apparently, one pilot failed to follow instructions from the control tower. The Federal Aviation Administration is not commenting.
The Air Force is using all means available to search for a missing warplane in the Colorado Rockies. Spy satellites have picked up evidence of what could have been an explosion that happened at the same time. An A-10 jet and its pilot disappeared. As the 3rd week of this search begins, the Air Force now says it is more confident the pilot never made it out of the mountains.
The evidence seems to suggest that the aircraft did not land, but it terminated its flight up in this area.
Although snow, ice, and rocky terrain make the recovery difficult, the Air Force has nearly a flawless track record of finding its downed planes. They do so more than 99% of the time.
Boulder, Colorado police have taken 2 more people off their list of suspects in the JonBenet Ramsey case. They have ruled out both Fleet White Jr. and his wife Priscilla as suspects. Fleet White Jr. was with John Ramsey, the father, when he found his daughter's body in their home the day after Christmas. JonBenet's half-brother and sister were the first suspects to be eliminated a few months ago. Detectives are still waiting for a 5th handwriting sample, however, from Patsy Ramsey, left-handed. The investigation enters its 4th month.
Overcrowded schools could result in a tax hike. Some legislators think higher taxes would ease the problem of too many kids in the classroom.
It is very, very hard to get a perfect score on the SATs. Coming up, we will introduce you to a local student who beat the odds, got the grades, and got the perfect score.
Doppler 12,000 Weather is brought to you by FPL.
Here are some of the stories we're working on for News 12 at 11. We know the National Hurricane Center will now not face financial cuts. Tonight, find out how this sudden about-face will affect your insurance rates. Also, love is in the air. Love bugs. They're returning, and that means trouble for your car. We'll tell you how to deal with these flying annoyances tonight on News 12 at 11.
A new plan in the works in Tallahassee could let school districts raise your property taxes to relieve their school overcrowding. The measure would allow each of the 67 districts in Florida to increase property tax rates by $50 per year on the typical home. If passed, the proposal would raise $267 million statewide in the first year. The money would go to classrooms and not for other school buildings like bus barns. That's guaranteed. The new bill's future is uncertain.
Getting a perfect score on your SATs is the educational equivalent of being struck by lightning. Well, lightning struck at the Benjamin School in North Palm Beach, and 16-year-old Beth Fennell is still trying to recover from the shock.
A shock. I wasn't really expecting to do that well.
Beth Fennell says she only spent the day before studying for the SATs. When she finished, she went home feeling pretty good, but she never thought she'd get a perfect score.
It took us a couple minutes to figure out that I actually really had gotten the 1600.
There are no records available for this year, but just to show you how difficult it is to get a perfect SAT score, last year, out of nearly 3 million students, only 545 got a 1600. Beth's achievement has made her a celebrity, something she's taking with good humor.
Everybody's been, really nice about it. Some people have been teasing me, but, good-natured, of course.
Beth isn't your average brainiac. The 16-year-old is a star basketball player for the Benjamin School Bucks, and she loves to play guitar. Beth's mother, who's a 4th-grade teacher at Benjamin, says she always knew her little girl was special.
She's always been very inquisitive and anxious to learn. She's always loved to read. She started reading we started reading to her when she was very young, and she's always taking the opportunity to learn new things.
Beth says she hasn't decided what college she's going to attend yet, but she's thinking about Georgia Tech, Duke, or the University of Florida. She aspires to be a computer engineer someday. I tell you what, I bet she has an easy time getting into those colleges.
John, what'd you get, about half that? That's what I got.
All right, all you brainiacs and you love bugs, listen up. Here's what's going on with our weather. We got great weather, perfect for the perfect score on the weather, too. Look at this. First of all, on the Doppler radar, we're looking real good. We've got a clean screen, obviously, no rain around. So we'll take you live online right now to one of our computerized weather stations, Boynton Beach showing 78 degrees, heat index at 79. Humidity is right down there at 52% compared to about 100% yesterday when it was raining. And so that's quite a big difference. And also the barometer's on the rise at 29.77. But up on the big satellite, actually on the Doppler composite, we find 2 things. Number 1, showers just north of Lake Okeechobee, and showers that we had earlier today all have moved off. This is a time lapse again. So there's the rain, which has been going out in the Bahamas. And here's the newest development. And this is suspicious stuff because this is an upper level area of cloudiness that's coming right across the Gulf of Mexico. And here it comes, and there's where the rain's been going on. Also, you notice how we highlight the cloud tops to show us the best chance of precipitation. And so we're kind of in that little stream, but the high pressure in and should give us wonderful weather, although we will have a few patchy clouds. But here's the feature for the love bugs. We could be blowing them all out to sea with that wind, because that wind is going to be gusting up to 25 to 30 miles an hour, probably after midnight tonight, as this high pressure fills in. And you'll notice that wind again tomorrow. And that's certainly going to be a refreshing breeze, but you will need your sweater around if you're doing some outdoor stuff like playing golf or whatever. Look at the whole country into the sunshine for the most part, and this upper-level cloudiness is part of a upper-level low that's back right across Texas and Mexico, and that feature is going to continue to support the clouds, which will be a factor in our weather probably the latter part of the weekend. On to other things. Let me check some numbers. 79 degrees at Vero, 82 at Port St. Lucie, 75 at Stewart, 78 Okeechobee City right now. And observe that these were the afternoon highs. This is warmer over here, 85, 84, 82, 83 degrees. And farther down the coast, we've got 80 degrees right now to 83 degrees at West Boca. And we're also finding the afternoon highs got as warm in West Boca as 86 degrees, and most of us anywhere from 81 to 83 degrees. So a warm day as promised. And the feature is now the wind is going to drive in cooler air, and you'll notice that difference for sure. The low pressure area and the frontal boundary with the clouds has now moved offshore. Our first feature was to clear the skies with our first front, but we've got another one coming downstate, and that's what's going to help to get the wind going. Also, the high pressure is going to really be building in, so we're going to have some wonderful weather other than those pesky upper-level clouds that are coming in from way back over to the west. So that's going to be one feature we're going to have to watch carefully. But for the overall part, that high pressure and that low will both combine to give us strong winds and cooler, drier air. So we've got a nice-looking weekend coming our way, starting with tomorrow for sure. The winds out of the northwest 10 to 20 going higher overnight. The seas at 2 to 4 going higher offshore. Small craft advisory is posted for the boaters. Here's your tide information. The sun going down at 7:45 tonight and rising tomorrow just before the 7 o'clock hour. And you'll see that sun in full force tomorrow with beautiful conditions. Some clouds around like we have outside right now, patchy clouds, all clearing out, cooler, low tonight about 10 degrees cooler than last night. Tomorrow I declare it sunny, windy, cool, dry, and a high about 74. None of those 80s again until the first part of next week probably, or maybe might crack 80 by Sunday. So what's happening is beautiful weather Friday, Saturday. Those upper-level clouds have got to get us by Sunday. And then I think we have our next feature that'll be another weak front that'll come through and bring us a chance of rain first part of next week. But who wants rain now?
Had enough.
Had enough. I had it too.
All right, John. You know what? Dan Oliver is not here today because he decided to hit the golf course. Can you believe that?
Lazy bum. He joins us from PGA National for a look at the seniors tournament. He's actually working. Hi, Dan.
I tell you, it's good work if you can get it, though. John Bland is your leader late in the first round of the PGA Seniors Championship. Now, I'm going to show some restraint here and not make some cute little comments about the guy's name, okay? But we do have some shots of him on the course here. That's not him. That's an alligator watching the goings-on. Bland really spiced up his round on 9 when he holed a second shot for eagle. He also had 3 birdies and a bogey on the back 9. He shot a 5 under 67. There is Hale Irwin, the defending champ, who managed to get within 2 shots of Bland. Birdie on 15 there, a 3 under 69 for Hale. We talked to both men who expressed satisfaction with their efforts today.
I'm very happy with my round. The greens are magnificent. You know, the greens have stood up to all the water and all the rain. I don't know how many inches they've had over the last 3 or 4 days, but the greens are fantastic.
I wanted a good start. I didn't want to be floundering back there at 73 or 2, or, you know, and certainly I'd like to be shooting 65 or 6, but considering no play last week and interrupted play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with the weather, I'm happy.
Well, we don't know how happy the Golden Bear was. Jack Nicklaus seemed to be bothered by his hip today, but he did sink that birdie on 13 on his way to a 1 under 71. Arnold Palmer definitely not happy after shooting an 84, but he said he's not giving up. The shot of the day here turned in by Malcolm Gregson. His tee shot on 17, and this is one way to beat the bear trap. Right there with the hole-in-one. He's 1 over par, by the way. All right, let's take a look at the leaderboard. It's Bland, and then Irwin and Gibby Gilbert are at 3 under par. Gil Morgan and 4 others at -2. Jack Nicklaus at -1. Bob Murphy of Boynton Beach at 1 over. There is Ray Floyd +3. Dana Quigley of West Palm Beach 3 over as well. And there you see Arnold Palmer at 12 over par. Joining me now is Pat Murphy, who was following a pretty interesting guy around the course today, and he's going to tell us about it.
Dan, as you know, you must be 50 years to play on the senior circuit, but imagine playing in a major championship like this, and you're over 80 years old.
I couldn't get along without it. I don't know what I'd do if I didn't play golf.
Freddie Haas continues to defy father time. At 81, he's the oldest golfer competing in the PGA Seniors Championship.
I do not have any fun anymore trying to play medal play. I just am not enough to go with it.
Haas assured himself of a lifetime invitation when he won this event back in 1966.
13, 14, and 15, I played them, and 16, I played them in 3-3, 3-3, and that helps.
Freddie has played this event for many years. In fact, he's making a record 29th PGA Seniors appearance.
Well, I was hoping to play in the 30th, but unless I break 80 tomorrow, I'm going to have to say I enjoyed it. It was very nice. Thank you very much.
His playing partners, Miller Barber and Joe Jimenez, realize his days of being competitive are over, but do admire his grit.
Freddie has left the game, and he just loves to play, and I don't blame him. You know, that's been his life.
And unfortunately, the course did him in. He shot a 93, Dan, and only had 4 pars.
I tell you, it's great, though, to see that kind of effort from
Really
these
is.
guys. All right, these guys do enjoy fishing, so right now we're going to check out this week's Tight Lines.
The arrival of bait fish off our coast is a sure sign that spring is here. Finding them is usually more difficult than catching them.
Now, when the baits are in shallow water, oftentimes you'll see them peppering the surface, but when they come out here to deeper water, you really need to rely on your fathometer to locate the pods of bait.
Motor around in an area where you think the baits are and stay ready to drop your rig all the way to the bottom when you mark them on the machine. Pre-packaged sabiki rigs are extremely effective. Be sure to use at least 3 or 4 ounces of lead at the base of the rig, which will help prevent a string of baits from fouling the setup. Now, when you locate the bait pod, visually mark the spot with a range marker like an antenna or roof line. This will help you relocate the baits if you drift off the spot. Sardines and cigar minnows were cooperating earlier this week south of the Palm Beach Inlet in 32 feet of water due east of the FP&L stacks. Hopefully, the weather will be just as cooperative in the days ahead. For News 12 in the West Palm Beach Fishing Club, I'm Tom Twyford. Tight Lines.
Should be good.
That's News 12 for now. Thanks for watching.
See you at 11.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Arrigo Dodge.